I've got to pay my dues. Been pushing on, can't hang around, I still got work to do. Been working hard, I'm doing my part to make my dream come true. Not holding back, I'm on the track to my breakthrough. Dedication, staying true to what I love. Determination is highly paying off. Here's to the haters and fakers, you never stop me. I'm better, I'm stronger, and everyone can see I'm moving up. Hey.
Welcome to Trials, Triumphs, and Truths with Dr. Monica. I am pre-recording this because I'm in training this week, and I did not want to have you miss out. So, welcome to Trials, Triumphs, and Truths with Dr. Monica. I am the author of Where's My Book? Where's my copy of my book? Okay, where's the book? It should have been right here. I am the author of Wounds of Wisdom, written to help you heal, deal with life's wounds through transparently sharing my experiences. And this book is about each one, reach one, heal one. So tag a friend, share this podcast. And you were listening to the theme song, if you've been tuning in each week, that's by my friend Carrie Taylor, I'm Moving Up. Pay attention to some of those lyrics and go and download that song. Last week I mentioned that I'm looking for a social media intern. I'm looking for a social media / assistant intern. And the job description or the description that was posted on the website was an incorrect one. So if you know someone who's looking and will be reliable, operate in excellence, have integrity, then please have them go to drmonicajackson.com/apply, read the requirements, and hopefully we can connect. So this week, I am going to talk about chapter 6, and that's family wounds. These are my experiences, my approach, my reality. They may not be yours. You may not approach them the same way. But what my goal is to share my reality transparently, real and raw, to hopefully help someone through their situations. First, I want to read a comment from one of the readers from my website on drmonicajackson.com. And it's from Richard Malcolm. He said, I read some of your book and the chapter on family wounds really hits home. Okay. My response to Richard was, it's quite unfortunate and fortunate that this chapter hits home for so many. The unfortunate part is the prevalence of self-centered, dysfunctional families is disturbing. Family members convince themselves that wrong is right and their actions and thoughts are justified. They believe their version of their reality and the truth. But the fortunate portion of this chapter is that Richard and other readers learn that they are not alone and they can relate and they can get through this. We all have these things about what family is supposed to be, what family is supposed to do. We have this expectation. And for far too many of us, our families are not that. Our families are wounded. Our families are hurting. Our families are intentionally burying their head in the sand, turning a blind eye. And if you listen to my podcast, you'll hear me talk about that in many arenas. Some people just don't want to deal with the reality. And until you deal with reality, reality will always show up. It's always going to be a problem. Problems just don't disappear. So when family members believe their wrongs, sometimes you just have to let it be. And you may have to walk away. I am going to read a Wound of Wisdom on page 149 of my book. And if you tuned in to previous podcasts, you've heard this before. But words of wisdom, number 45, says, except that blood may not be thicker than water. That's the reality for far too many of us. And using a statement that Michelle Obama mentioned, it is what it is. It doesn't mean that makes it any less, or you're just brushing it aside or pushing it aside. The reality is, it is what it is. Let's deal with the is. A lot of times we don't want to deal with the is. I ran across this statement, I believe it was on Facebook, or this comment, and I want to share it. And these are my sentiments as well. And hopefully it resonates with some other people, and maybe it will set you free in some of your family wounds. So tune into this. It says, I can cut you off and still love you. I can stop speaking to you and still care for you. I can let you go and still wish you the best. If I leave you alone, it's not to be bitter or petty. It's for my own good. If I let you go, it is because I need to be happy with you in my life. Think about that. Sometimes you have to let family members go. You may have to walk away. If you've read the book, I am currently still probably roughly about 90% estranged from my own family. That was a hard pill to swallow. And it all stemmed on a situation in 2016, 2017. And it's amazing how people want you to just go along and pretend like things don't happen. I had a family member contact me and said basically, oh, I don't mention you to this other family member because it makes her sad. Really? Is what I asked. I said, really? Okay, is it just about her feelings, not my feelings? If I just turn a blind eye, pretend like everything's okay, be the bigger person, so to speak, then all is well, right? But what about my feelings? It's funny how people want you to accept wrong. Wrong is never right under any circumstances. And you don't have to live in that environment, regardless of who they are. I'm going to say this. When family does not care about your good, learn to be good to and for yourself. Hear that, yourself. You can't make anyone be good to you, but you can be good to yourself, however that is, with or without. And sometimes if you stay in environments that damages you and your spirit, you're the one getting sick. Nobody's there for you when you're sick. You're holding these things in, and it's eating you alive, literally. So it's a choice. It's a choice. And sometimes you have to just walk away for your own good. I was listening to a friend of mine, and they have older parents. And it's amazing how I watched how the sons literally take turns and take care of the parents because they're older. They literally fly out and spend time with the parents in their homes 2 months out of the year. And they just rotate it so that their parents don't have to go into a home, so that their parents can be in an environment and they all embrace taking care and responsibility of their parents. Whereas I have another friend that has numerous brothers and sisters, and she is the only one that's taking care of her ailing parents. None of the children are stepping in at all. leaving it all on her shoulders. They don't offer. So the difference in the dynamics in the family. So one is very a healthy approach and one is a negative or unhealthy approach. And that has actually resulted in the friend's health, the friend's appearance, and the rest of the family members just don't care. But again, what goes around does come around. You can't change people, but when you get tired of people and that are unwilling to change, perhaps you have to come to terms with who your family has become and the reality of who your family is. Fix what you can, leave what you can't alone. That's, my reality. This world is messed up. If you listen to many of my podcasts, some of our churches are a mess. Some of our children are a mess. Some of our families are a mess. Choose not to be messy. It's a choice. Do not let the mess of others in other environments mess up your environment. Choose to be happy, whatever that may be. My happy place is the beach. Thank goodness I am in Southern California and I can escape to a beach. There's peace just to hear the wind. There's nothing, just the breeze, watch the waves. It is the most relaxing. So that is my happy place. And when life gets tough, when mess starts to surface, I'll run to the beach. I just make that a regular occurrence at least once a week. No matter what the weather is, the beach is my happy place. Just bundle up if it's cold. The other thing is thrifting. I am a thrift store queen. I love to find good deals. It's just a rush. It's an excitement and it's fun. And those are some things that I have done. There may be other things that you may have to do. Read, maybe, use things, learn something new, but don't waddle in mess. You can't change mess. So I encourage you, be good to yourself. I believe that my peace is my number one priority. Without peace in my life, I can't function. So I maintain it at all costs. I release things. I don't stay around people who disturb my peace. I set my boundaries. If I can't speak to them, then I can't speak to them. And I'm okay with that. And as I mentioned, I think in one of the podcasts about death, I spoke about death. I'm okay with it. I have come to terms with every single entity, every single person in my life. So when God calls my number, I am good. And I hope you can get to that place too. Make peace with whatever has disturbed your peace and keep moving on. One of the things that at the very beginning of the book, it says accountability may feel like an attack when you are unable to acknowledge that your behavior wounded and scarred others. Some people just will never come to terms with the things that they've done. You may never receive an apology. An apology means nothing if there's no actions to back it up. So when someone is truly apologetic, you'll know their words, their actions will align accordingly. It doesn't mean it's okay just to say, oh, I'm sorry, forgive me. I think I mentioned Pastor Ulmer mentioning forgiveness and forgetting. You forgive for yourself. You don't forget. You don't be foolish enough to trust people because some things you just don't forget. He said that forgetting is not biblical. But how often have we heard forgive and forget? I want to read this from page 137 of the book. Family wounds cut deep, and although they may heal in time, the scars may never disappear. Again, some things we just can't forget. It doesn't mean you throw it up in the person's face. You just don't forget it because you have to guard your heart. I talk about that all the time. Follow your instincts. It doesn't matter who the person is or who they, titles, mother, father, sister, daughter, son, aunt, uncle, grandparents. It doesn't matter their title. If they're disturbing your peace, sometimes you just have to move on. You can't just let bygones be bygones. So I have a question for you. What changes do you need to make to not allow family wounds to derail your life? Post that, post your response to that. I'd like to talk about that and discuss that. Then, for those of you who have the book, what in the book has helped you along this journey of dealing with family wounds? If you don't have a copy of the book, you may get it on drmonicajackson.com/books. The book is going to be available on Amazon shortly. There's a glitch right now in the system in uploading some information, but you'll be able to purchase that on Amazon as well. But go on my website and get the book, if not for yourself, for others, because I believe that there's a word and a message in this book to help, and words of wisdom. So this concludes Trials, Triumphs, and Truths with Dr. Monica. If you found this podcast to be encouraging or enlightening, please share it with a friend. Post it, comments, give me feedback, some things that you would like to see. And I'll be announcing some other things shortly that's coming forth. So again, get the book. I'm going to conclude, as I always do, playing our theme song by Carrie Taylor. I'm moving up, all the way up. Don't let anybody tear you down or bring you down. Family members, whether it's a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a daughter, a son, a grandparent. Did I miss anybody? Even a friend. Move up. Stay encouraged. Make the life that you want to have. Okay, because you still have work to do as long as you are here. Make your dreams come true. And until next time, don't allow anyone to disturb your peace. And don't you allow anyone to disturb. And don't you my words are all jumbled up today. Until next time, don't allow anyone to disturb your peace. And don't disturb anyone's peace for the rest of the day. So have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Post comments. Again, share this.